There are a lot of games on Google Play that you can play for free, of course, and they actually range from the best to the worst. But once every while you see we get an incredible port that's more than a 10 out of 10, but unfortunately it's a paid game. Today, I'll introduce you some of the best offline controller support premium mobile games to pick up for just a few bucks for your Android and iOS devices as well. With almost a million purchases and a 4.4 as the number 8 awarded on the Play Store most purchased mobile game, and number 1 we have Riptide, GT Renegade. This is actually the second most popular work of its developers, a racing, biking, fantasy, single and multiplayer game with the absolute best cloud service and crossplay support on mobile. Literally you can bring over your data to play this game on PCs with a 4K resolution. I kid you not. The whole thing is about 100 megabytes somehow and playable all the way offline. Number 2, we've got over here Nostalgia at its finest, one of the best RPGs of all time, in fact one of the biggest Xbox games to have ever been released, and somehow a mobile port with better visuals. I've heard about so few bugs that I'm considering this the best console to mobile port Square Enix ever made. If you do like Final Fantasy games or the style of them, a little bit more action oriented in nature, and of course longer, you couldn't really go wrong if you wanted to with the last Remnant Remastered. In case you didn't like the previous one or like your paid games a little cheaper, we have a puzzle top-down platformer style game going by the name Down in Bermuda. Previously released on the PCs about 2 years ago, this game is a cel-shaded, atmospheric in feel, accompanied by a lot of puzzle solving, codes, collecting, and all of them through 6 different islands. If you do have a laptop or a PC, the game is actually 90% discounted right now and costs only $2 on Steam. Company of Heroes, on the other hand, is a real-time strategy fully remade for Android and iOS with overhauled and compromised gameplay and thoroughly playable offline. It's got some of the best squad-based tactical maneuvers that you can find in this own genre, dynamic mapping, a good storyline, and a decent campaign too. The whole thing is about 4 GB in total, $14 in price, and the best graphics a World War II style strategy game had to offer, period.
Let's move.
Number 5, we have XCOM 2 Collection, another mobile port of a PC original including all DLCs and added content on top of the most hefty price that you have to pay, but nonetheless, a $25 piece of on-the-go game that's purchased almost 50,000 times. I mean, that number must have a reason. XCOM the sequel over here includes 2 modes, good old tactical strategy, and the second more popular base building management part. This game's about 2 GB in total and playable offline.
This is for my daughter.
One of the top 3 most realistic mobile games that ever existed is gotta be simply Alien Isolation. Sitting on the Play Store with over 10,000 downloads and a 4.4 and a hefty $11 in price, this game offers one of the most unique survival adventure experiences that's packed with heavy, dark, and terrifying atmospheres. It's a cat and mouse horror game with a real story, some good 10 hours to go through, and the whole thing is about 2 GB in total.
Hello? Is anyone there?
If you like your games with a lot of speed, very action-oriented, more to the point, addictive, and adrenaline pumping, Thumper over here is the absolute best of all high-speed games that's not just on mobiles, but has ever been made. This game is a racing, or you could say running, very reflex-based action that could keep you busy for at least 100 hours if you decided to enjoy it. The game is rated a 5 out of 5, takes you down about $6, and is playable all the way offline. Without a doubt, the number 1 game to pick up and play with a controller, with or without your friends. I mean, if you like in single player, and probably one of the best $10 you will ever spend on mobiles. Streets of Rage 4 is the smoothest beat-em-up action game, and if you do enjoy fighting games, it's not just the core game, it's actually included all the DLCs that's ever been released. The game is sitting on both platforms with an almost perfect 5 out of 5 score, about 2 GB in total, and really huge in scale. Have you guys noticed all games today have a pretty fast-paced gameplay? If that ain't enough, go ahead and combine all of that fast-paced action with rhythm-based stuff. And, well, if you didn't know that already, you get over here the absolute best rhythm-based, randomly generated pixel art game that's ever been made in gaming. I mean, Trip of NecroDancer is so jam-packed with content and fun, not only you will come back to finish the game all over again, you just literally play it anytime you have free, like the Binding of Isaac games to have a different kind of run. It's a really good game in replay, very addictive, and so smooth in feel. Number 10. Tempest over here is a $3 piece of literally Assassin's Creed Black Flag that's made for mobile exclusively. This game is one of the most enjoyable pirate RPG looter shooters and the only game I'd recommend if you are into Assassin's Creed games and have ever had any interest in raiding and ship battles. It's a paid game, but you can play it for free with ads, then pay it offline, but 400 megabytes in total and some of the best rewarding systems to make it real fun. Available for the price of $3 again. We have over here Pumped BMX2 with a 4.7 and over 10,000 downloads. This is a trial style bike arcade racer that's got one of the most enjoyable feels to it too. You can play this one with or without a controller. The whole thing is less than 100 megabytes legit. No one ever reported a bug in this game, even though it's been out for a long time, as long as I can remember actually, and the amount of content that it offers has at least 50 hours to finish. Moving on, we have SpongeBob SquarePants, a $10 piece of platform adventure that you could say is a PlayStation 3 game somehow packed into a mobile game size. That's a must if you're a fan of the series or not. I mean, let's just start with the fact that this game looks even better on mobiles as opposed to consoles. A solid 60 FPS, easy to play on both touchscreen, way better with controller. The game is about 4 gigabytes in total and offers some of the most amount of content in mobile gaming. Coming from the same developers who made the Kingdom games possible on mobiles, Raw Fury has another AAA pixel art action-adventure on the Play Store going by Dandra Trials of Fear. This is a Metroidvania, almost Dead Cells-inspired action-oriented game that's been awarded more than 5 times since its release. The game is an even better version of Castlevania/Dead Cells if you've already played them. Quite unique, very smooth, and works with a controller.
Aperture Science Computer Aided Enrichment Center.
On the other hand, with the highest rating in the list, one of them at least, and a $5 price, number 14 we have Bridge Constructor Portal, which if you're familiar with the Portal games and have played them, you might consider because it just looks like them. If you haven't, the answer is yes. This game is very much a Portal game, but a physics-based almost platformer, so it's even better. The game is playable with a controller offline and about 100 megabytes in total. It's a logic puzzle platformer. Number 15 we have Legend of Keepers, rated a 4.9 on the App Store as legit the best PC to mobile port pixel art design games and some of the best fighting mechanics if you have even a slight bit of interest for RPGs. Strategies, specifically nostalgia classics. This is a dungeon master game where you stock rooms with enemies and just trap them to defeat them. Its set formula, albeit, is perfected to that. It's an offline game played with a controller and about 600 megabytes in total. And last but not least, we have Tropico. This is a sim strategy, cynical comedy management sim that's purchased over 50,000 times in total. I mean, come on. Alien Isolation wasn't purchased that much, and that was the best game in the list. It's a 1 gigabyte game in total, playable both online and offline, takes down about $6 in price.